Melissa and I met in a maths lecture at university. We used to pass each other messages written in only algebraic symbols. Do you remember? And then we used to sit on the riverbank and just talk until the sun came up. It's then that we had the idea for the school, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just meant to be like a normal school, not... I don't even know what this is. Let's see this one. Again, we need it off to start with. The switch in this room has 3 connectors instead of 2. This means that you can not only use it to break or complete a circuit, you can also use it to redirect the flow of charge from one machine to another. Okay, let's do that then. So here we've got to get through this door, up through here, but when that door opens it's going to block our exit. So we need to use the switch to make the door come back down again. But then we're going to come up here and come round and find that our exit is blocked as well. So basically when that door comes down, this one wants to come up. Okay, so let's just wire up the first one. Fine, and then when that's off, we want this one to be on. This is a very similar one. We've got to get through here, round past this door, which needs to be open. And when that's open, we don't want this one, we want this to be down. And then we come around here, flick the switch, we want this to come up so we can get across, and the door to come down because that would have been blocking our route. So let's do that. All right, we do voltage. Everybody does voltage first. And then we say voltage equals current times resistance. But then it just looks like current is like a bigger or a smaller version of voltage, which isn't right. And there's a load of maths that you have to do in your head. We can't have people solving equations while they're jumping off platforms and climbing ladders. what about we visualize the voltage and current inside the wires? So the voltage is like the brightness of the blobs, and the current is like the speed that they move through the wires at. No, that doesn't work because you can't tell if something's moving, say, twice as fast as opposed to 3 times as fast as something else. Or if something is half as bright as opposed to 1/3 as bright. Something like. You don't get that quantitative understanding, which I think is crucial here, isn't it? Stick with the equations. But we build them out of metal. I'm imagining some kind of sort of mechanical device here. And then that allows the individual symbols to grow and shrink as the current and other quantities in the circuit change. So as people sort of mess around with the circuits, they'll see the equations sort of stretch and change as they're doing it. And that will allow them to create this sort of intuitive connection between what's going on in the wires and what's going on in the equations. Madness. This just requires a little bit of thinking about. Okay, so one last one of these. We have to get through this door. We mustn't have this one open. Flick the switch. That door comes down. This one comes up. Let's see how we do this. This to here, that to there, that to here. Well, this all took quite a lot longer than I expected it to get this sorted out. But I think I now have a way to explain all this stuff that makes sense. So that's good. You're here too. Great. Obviously, this wasn't the only thing I was doing. You know, I do have other things in my life. Like, other things. Let's get on with the next bit. Okay, so the professor has got a little older by this point in the films. Okay, so this is the first room where we're going to need to wire up 2 machines and get them both running at the same time. So we've got to bring this platform up and raise the door up. And hopefully the layout makes it fairly obvious what you need to do. Okay, and this is a very similar one. The layout makes it not quite so obvious. wire more than one machine up to a fuel cell. If you let the current flow out of one machine and into another, this is called wiring machines up in series.
And previously we just had 2 things wired up in series. Now we need to connect 3 up. And hopefully people notice that the machines run quite a lot slower when we do this.
Charge can move through wires very quickly. Remember your short-circuiting adventure? Well, machines have something called resistance. Now, resistance slows charge down. And the more machines you have in series, the more resistance the charge has to push through, and the slower it flows. Now, the slower the charge is flowing, the less power it can deliver to each of the machines. So, the more machines you have wired up to a fuel cell, the slower each one runs.
Okay, so again we have a multi-room puzzle. We've just got 1 door, I think, haven't we? Oh no, a platform and a door. Another multi-room puzzle. We've got 3 things to wire up now. Basically we need to just get in and wire them all up, and then we can get through on the top level. So this one we're going to have to get through here. So we need this door to go up. That's the only way to get the power out of that area. So then in this area we're going to need to get this door up as well. But to get to it, to wire it up, we're going to need to get through here. So let's do this one first. Up here, wire this one up so it's ready, and then we can come back down and connect it up.
When we used to run the school, when it was a normal school, I used to look after the kids mostly, and Melissa would manage the teachers. That turned out to be quite a good utilisation of our skills. And then she died. Had I told you she died already? Doesn't matter. I don't even know what it was. She just she got ill one day and went to hospital. And then 2 weeks later, there she was. Gone. Don't know why I'm telling you all this. I'm going to re-record all these films anyway when the school's finished. Maybe a little bit less rambling.
Okay, so a more complicated multi-room puzzle. So we're going to have to get through here, around there, up these ladders, through that, and then out through this way. So the first thing, before we do anything else, we are going to need to get this door up. So let's do that first. And I mean, this is really the only machine we can do anything with apart from this one here, but that's not useful to us yet. So we get this one up. Then, a bit like the last rooms, we can come and get this one ready to go. And get that bit ready, and now we just need to wire that through. So that's given us our whole circuit, got all of these two going. However, we are going to need this one to go as well. So let's just wire this one in. Right, to get through here, our route is going to be blocked. So we want to disengage this one, but we still need this one up. So let's just exclude that one from the circuit. Make sure the rest is not powered. There we go, and finally we're blocked again. So we need to put that one down, and we're through.
I can still see you, you know. I can hear you. Don't know why you're here, Melissa. Or how, obviously. But I'm glad you are.
Okay, so we're now back to kind of single rooms. And this one, we've got to keep this one down and that one up, and then, so let's just do that first. What is it? That one down, this one up. So these are just some nice little, fairly simple puzzles involving either one or two machines being active at a time, but all in one room.